Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. In the late 1980s, hip-hop in the city still carried the sound of park jams, battle instincts, and neighborhood pride. New York was the center of gravity, but Philly wanted its own lane. Records moved hand to hand. Local crews built names through radio, street buzz, and reputation. The music celebrated money, status, and survival, but it also carried a hunger unique to a city that always felt overlooked. Out of that environment came artists who sounded like they were ready for more. Two of the loudest names were Steady B and Cool C. Warren McGlone, known as Steady B, became one of Philadelphia's earliest recognizable rap stars. He had presence, confidence, and the kind of local celebrity that mattered before social media made everyone visible at once. Steady B Records helped put Philadelphia into the larger rap conversation. He was brash, competitive, and entirely comfortable being seen as a hometown name with national ambitions. In a city obsessed with proving itself, that mattered. Christopher Roney, better known as Cool C, emerged from Philadelphia's hilltop hustlers' orbit with a style that mixed swagger, street imagery, and polished confidence. Tracks like The Glamorous Life sold an image of taste, money, and control. Cool C sounded like a man who knew exactly how he wanted to be seen. He was stylish, aggressive on records, and built for a rap era where personality could carry you almost as far as skill. Steady B and Cool C did not need to be identical to be linked in public memory. They came out of the same city, moved through the same rap ecosystem, and represented the same ambition. Philadelphia artists who wanted more than local respect. In that scene, records were competitive, reputations were fragile, and everybody kept score. The music made them visible. The city made them hungry. For a while, that combination looked like momentum. Then the 1990s arrived, and the business changed. Rap was becoming bigger, richer, and more regional all at once. New stars took over. Trends moved faster. For artists who had once felt close to the center, the distance started growing. The local reputation remained, but mainstream momentum slowed. That kind of decline can be hard to absorb. People who have been visible do not always know how to become ordinary again. Sometimes they start chasing money, status, or excitement outside the music. On January 2nd, 1996, everything changed. A robbery attempt at a PNC Bank branch in the Feltonville section of Philadelphia turned from a reckless crime into a permanent stain on the city's memory. What might once have sounded like another rumor about local figures crossed into something much darker. By the end of that morning, music, bravado, and reputation no longer mattered. Violence had taken over the story. Officer Lauretha Vaird responded to that bank robbery and was shot and killed. That fact is the moral center of the story and cannot be pushed aside by rap history or nostalgia. She was a Philadelphia police officer, a mother, and the person whose life was taken during a crime that never should have happened. Any account of Cool C and Steady B that does not stop here misses the point. This is not just a rise and fall music story. It is a homicide story. The investigation moved fast. The robbery had failed. Evidence was left behind. Police had leads, witness accounts, and the city already locked onto the names involved. What might have once stayed inside rumor and neighborhood talk now became a major criminal case. Arrests followed, and Philadelphia watched two known rap figures move from records and reputation into news coverage, mugshots, and courtrooms. Cool C faced the most severe charge in the case. Prosecutors argued that he was directly responsible for the killing of Officer Vaird during the attempted robbery. The legal stakes were enormous. Whatever argument anyone wanted to make about music careers, local celebrity, or personal decline stopped at the basic facts of the prosecution: an attempted bank robbery, an officer killed in response, and a defendant facing the possibility of death. For Steady B, the fall was different, but just as final. one of Philadelphia rap's early standard bearers, was now tied forever to the same case. Whatever legacy he had built through records and local influence was overwhelmed by the robbery and the killing. That is one of the ugliest truths in crime history involving public figures. Years of cultural work can collapse into one day of reckless violence. People remember the worst thing last. The trials ended with convictions, and the outcomes fixed the public memory of the case. Cool C was convicted of first-degree murder. Steady B was convicted alongside the others in connection with the robbery and killing. From that point forward, their names no longer belong mainly to old rap records or Philadelphia hip-hop nostalgia. They belong to a criminal case that reshaped how the city remembered them. That is what makes the Cool C and Steady B story so unsettling inside hip-hop history. These were not anonymous men pulled from nowhere. They were artists with real records, real listeners, and real local impact. But once violence entered the story, the music stopped leading. Their catalog survived, but under a shadow. For younger listeners, the crime often arrives before the songs. The legacy is inverted. Philadelphia remembers more than fallen rappers and wasted careers. It remembers Officer Lauretha Vaird. It remembers the robbery, the killing, and the fact that a family lost someone forever. Cases like this test what a city chooses to preserve. The music can remain part of the record, but the victim has to remain at the center. Otherwise, the story turns into spectacle, and spectacle is too cheap for what happened. Cool C and Steady B are remembered now as a warning as much as a piece of rap history. Talent was not enough. Recognition was not enough. Local fame did not protect them from self-destruction. When the record slowed down and the spotlight faded, bad decisions filled the space. Philadelphia got early rap pioneers. It also got one of hip-hop's bleakest cautionary tales. In the end, the city outlived the songs, the boasts, and the names. What remains is the damage.